is the mayor? What is people doing to stop this stuff? It needs to stop. Nobody is catching nobody.
Baltimore has seen so much pain. More than 1,500 people killed in the past 5 years, and more than half of those homicides remain unsolved.
I will never forget that day.
On March 17, 2019, Dorothy Cunningham lost her grandson Markel Hendricks forever. He was just 16 years old.
The guy they was shooting, they got shot in the hip, he got shot in his head. Markel will never be forgotten, never. Yeah, he was just a sweet kid, and he just lost his life trying to come home from school.
A memorial plaque sits in her front yard, and Cunningham wonders if the killer will ever be brought to justice. Has that case been solved?
My grandson's case has not been solved. I don't even believe that the detective is working on the case because I've called them on so many occasions and never get a phone call back. Still haven't got my grandson's belongings, and 3 years, what are you still holding on to it for?
When the detective doesn't pick up the phone or call you back,
I'm frustrated. That's your job. What's so much more frustrating, it seems that nobody cares.
Cunningham is not alone waiting for answers. A CBS News analysis of FBI homicide data shows Baltimore City's average clearance rate from 2015 to 2019 was just 38.7%, hitting a low of 29.7% in 2015. The tumultuous year when Freddie Gray was killed in police custody and arrests plummeted. The clearance rate in 2020 improved to 47%, and so far this year it's around 42%, all below national averages. It's a little more than 40% clearance rate.
That's it.
And so there's so many other families like you
Suffering.
who don't get answers.
Don't get no answers at all. There's no consequences for their action. They look at the police like they're a joke.
And they can get away with it.
And they can get away with it.
CBS News also looked at the number of homicides solved based on race and found nationally, while the clearance rate improved for white victims, it fell for homicides involving Black and Hispanic victims. In Baltimore City, the number of cleared homicides involving white victims has been higher than that for Black victims every year except one since 1995. In 2016, only 11% of homicides involving Black victims were solved, compared to 35.7% for white victims. In 2020, 43.4% of homicides involving Black victims were cleared, compared to 68.2% for white victims. We asked the commissioner, why the disparity?
Here in Baltimore, with over 90% of our victims being African Americans, we have an incredibly large caseload, as you know. We're not working any harder or any less harder on any specific case. We give 100% on all of them, but some of them have nuances to them that bring us directly to the perpetrator right away.
In Baltimore, a number of homicides are cleared by what law enforcement calls exceptional means. Some because the suspect has died.
Think I got the bird flu.
One example, the 2016 killing of up-and-coming rapper Little Scooter. His alleged killer was gunned down in his vehicle just a few months later.
It's important to us that we solve them, because that is how we send the message to the community and to would-be offenders that you will not get away with it. When we solve them and then we hold people accountable, that's the greatest deterrent of all.
Police also have to deal with a culture where witnesses are often scared to talk. 20 years ago, the Dawson family, including 5 children, was killed in their East Baltimore home in retaliation for calling police on a drug dealer. And the infamous Stop Snitching video brought the underground message of witness intimidation into public view.
And we don't really know who the real rats is, but we got a couple of them that we do know, but they ain't around here no more.
We asked Governor Larry Hogan about why so many killings go unsolved.
But the clearance rate is only around 42%. What can be done about that to bring justice to more families?
It takes really simple steps. We have to arrest more people. We have to prosecute more people. And the really bad guys that keep doing the shooting have to go to jail. So we have to convict more. And we're not. We're not arresting enough people. We're not prosecuting enough people. And we're not sentencing enough people. None of those things are happening. We prosecute like 30 people a year in Baltimore City for first-degree murder, for 300 murders. It's outrageous.
And they could feel the presence of their loved ones.
Dorothy Cunningham may not have justice for her grandson yet, but she's honoring his memory and those of other homicide victims with a memorial garden planted on a vacant lot obtained from the city.
They don't get to reach the age of 20, 25, 16, 17, they're gone. They have not begun to live their life and somebody has taken it away from them.
She promises she'll never give up.
I'm not going away. It might be 10 years, I'm not going away and I'm gonna still keep calling you. So you might as well respond to me. We always gonna hurt because he's gone. But at least if you get the individual that done it, we could get some closure.
Mike Helgren, CBS News, Baltimore.